Episode 5. The capital moves quickly, too quickly to mourn anyone. 3 days after the national competition rankings were announced, the headlines had already shifted. New deals, new policy speeches, new heirs being showcased. But inside the elite academy, the ripple remained. Because although applause fades fast, status recalibrates slower. Students who used to cluster around Lin Xiaoxiu had begun dividing their attention. They still respected her, still bowed slightly when greeting her. But their eyes started flicking elsewhere, toward red, toward pink hair, toward quiet certainty, toward Lin Yue. And that was intolerable. Back at the Lin mansion, Lin Yue went back for the weekend. Previously, the Lin family has already moved to capital city since Lin Xiaoxiu and Lin Yue have become a student of the capital elite academy. Chairman Lin Zhiguo moved the main branch of his business to the capital and other to get more connection and give Lin Xiaoxiu background and influence. The Lin's family capital mansion was immaculate. Polished marble floors, a 12-seat dining table, crystal lighting reflecting off gold trim. It looked perfect. It always looked perfect. Appearances were the family's religion. Lin Yue stepped into the dining hall wearing red. Light pink hair cascading over her shoulders, calm as ever. Madame Lin Roland sat at the head. Chairman Lin Zhiguo opposite. Lin Xiaoxiu sat to Madame Lin's right. Always to the right. The favored seat. Her white dress tonight was modest, soft, elegant, almost fragile. The perfect victim. The perfect daughter. The perfect lie. Silence lingered when Lin Yue sat down. Madame Lin spoke without looking at her. The capital board is concerned. Not, we are concerned. The board. Status before daughter. Chairman Lin added, there are rumors circulating regarding adoption files. Lin Xiaoxiu lowered her gaze. Delicate, hurt, gentle. I never asked for any of this, she whispered softly. And Madame Lin immediately touched her hand. You've worked hard, Xiaoxiu. No matter what, you are still our daughter. Still, the word echoed. Still ours. Still worthy. Still chosen. No one touched Lin Yu's hand. No one said she worked hard. She watched quietly. Reborn once. Remembering everything. Because in her previous life, this was where it began collapsing. Not from scandal. From bias. From quiet favoritism that destroyed balance. In that life, she fought emotionally. Accused. Broke down. Tried to prove herself. It ended badly. This time, she simply smiled slightly. I understand, Lin Yue said calmly, and they misinterpreted that calm for passivity. They always did. Over the next week. Small things. Subtle things. Revealing things. Madame Lin reallocated part of the family discretionary fund, originally designated for joint academic representation. Only Xiaoxiu received it. A private vehicle assigned for academy functions, transferred to Xiaoxiu's name. Public family event invitations, Xiaoxiu attended. Lin Yue was advised to rest. Chairman Lin said once, your strength is academic. Let Xiaoxiu handle diplomacy. Translated, stay in the background. Let the polished one shine. They didn't see that the capital was already recalibrating. Power had shifted. But inside the mansion, favoritism remained primitive. Lin Yue felt the warmth in her veins stir slightly. Subtle cultivation presence. Controlled. Balanced. Watching. She exhaled slowly. Not yet. In her previous life. The collapse happened in the third fiscal quarter. She remembered clearly. A subsidiary of the Lin family holding group. Invested heavily into a biotech analytics company. The founder vanished. Financial audit revealed capital misallocation. Stock plummeted. Capital board lost confidence. Reputation fractured. And Lin Xiaoxu used the chaos to reposition herself as stability. She became the emotional anchor while Lin Yue was blamed indirectly for bad timing. It was never about the adoption. It was about the money. Capital respects one thing: financial power. And in her first life, she didn't have it. This time, she would. 2 months before the competition, when everyone was distracted with rankings, Lin Yue quietly registered an offshore tech entity under a pseudonym. She used a layered structure: primary shell in Singapore, secondary holding in Estonia, true ownership masked behind a blind trust. Name: Oryx Dynamics. Field: advanced predictive modeling software. Subfield: early stage capital risk pattern analysis. Because in her past life, she saw how capital markets moved before political narratives caught up. She remembered which sectors would explode, which technologies would scale, which infrastructure projects would receive government backing within 2 years. Rebirth wasn't magic, it was memory. She coded the first prototype herself. Nights in the academy library weren't just study, they were development. She built the framework quietly. No one knew. Not Madame Lin, not Chairman Lin, not Xiaoxu, not even Gu Chen, especially.
Meanwhile, Lin Xiaoxu, desperate to stabilize her standing, made a mistake. She pushed the family board to make a public show of support. "Visibility creates authority," she said during one private meeting, her voice sweet, controlled, measured. She encouraged the Lin holding group to participate in a capital renewable energy fund. She had heard good things, from well-dressed capital heirs, from polished conference calls. But in her past life, Lin Yue remembered that fund. It collapsed 18 months later due to regulatory tightening. In that timeline, the Lin family invested lightly. Now, Xiaoxu pushed them to invest heavily, almost aggressively, to signal dominance. Chairman Lin agreed, because favoritism is blinding. Lin Yue did not argue. She requested the investment terms privately, reviewed them, analyzed risk exposure, and then she began quietly positioning Oryx Dynamics. One night, while analyzing capital flow models, the warm current surged unexpectedly, not painful, sharper. Her vision flickered. Numbers aligned into patterns faster than logic. Predictive sequences accelerated. She saw financial flow structures like energy channels, investment pressure points like acupressure nodes, capital markets as chi circulation. And she understood something terrifying. Cultivation wasn't just physical. It amplified cognition, pattern recognition, strategic depth. The bloodline wasn't just strength, it was perception. Her breath steadied. She recalculated projections. The renewable energy fund would implode earlier than expected due to policy shift in environmental subsidies. 2 months earlier than in her past life. Because the geopolitical structure had slightly changed. Rebirth wasn't an exact repetition. It was an iteration, which meant she had to adapt, while financial currents brewed. Capital Academy politics deepened. Lin Xiaoxu began aligning with capital heirs from corporate dynasties, study dinners, private galas, parent-level networking. She started quietly implying that Lin Yu's rising influence might be destabilizing for family governance, that she was too aggressive, too independent. Capital elites fear unpredictable players. Lin Yue sensed this shift quickly. Social whisper frequency increased again. But this time, she didn't counter socially. She countered structurally. She anonymously sent an investment risk analysis to a mid-tier capital hedge group. RX's predictive modeling flagged regulatory instability in renewable sector bonds, not directly naming the Lin investment, just sector-level exposure. The hedge group reduced their position, quietly. Capital noticed. Capital listens to money before it listens to gossip. Lin Yue then positioned RX as a specialized consulting entity. Encrypted approach, selective outreach, discreet language. Within 1 month, 3 funds licensed limited access to her modeling software. Cash flow began. Small, but exponential. Back at the mansion, Madame Lin's treatment cooled further. Private meetings excluded Lin Yue. Household resource allocations skewed. Even servants began adjusting behavioral cues. Subtle. Respect weighted toward Xiaoxu. Because capital follows power signals. Lin Yue observed everything. The memory of her previous life haunted her. The day she begged at that same table. The day she tried to accuse Xiaoxu openly. The day she cried. She never cried now. Rebirth burned that weakness out of her. Revenge doesn't require anger, only timing. 6 weeks later, environmental regulatory adjustments were announced, exactly as projected. Renewable sector instability rumors spread. Bond markets shook. And the renewable fund invested heavily by the Lin Holding Group dropped 11% in a single afternoon. Board emergency meeting called. Chairman Lin tense. Madame Lin visibly unsettled. Lin Xiaoxu pale. Lin Yue remained silent. She had already positioned RX clients in short-term protective derivatives, quietly earning on volatility. Capital turmoil is opportunity, for those who know it's coming. In the capital, there were unspoken tiers. Corporations, political alliances, financial conglomerates, and above them, 4 great families. Gu, Shen, Lu, Qin. They did not advertise power. They embodied it. Each family controlled different sectors. Gu family. Financial architecture and old network, Shen family. Political diplomacy, Lu family. Biotechnology and pharmaceutical influence, Qin family. Infrastructure and military-industrial contracts, only a handful knew something else, behind closed doors. Each family preserved a fragment, old breathing techniques, ancient cultivation systems, hidden manuals passed through generations. Not flashy, not supernatural, but real enough to sharpen instinct, enhance mental clarity, strengthen presence. It was not open knowledge. Only heirs inherited it, and the Gu family held the strongest fragment. Gu Chen had been observing silently since the competition. He didn't approach immediately. He watched patterns. Who shifted allegiance? Who aligned socially? Who hesitated near Lin Yue? He recognized something different in her. Not just intelligence. Stillness. The kind cultivated individuals carry. And one night, after reviewing encrypted internal family reporting, he saw something else. A small capital hedge fund had begun using new predictive modeling software. The accuracy was absurd. Too sharp. Too early. The provider name was obscured. But Gu Chen felt it. Precision like that isn't coincidence. It's foresight. And foresight is rare. He suspected her. Not completely, but enough. Lin Xiaoxu knew she needed stronger backing. Capital influence wasn't about emotional sympathy anymore. The renewable energy losses were spreading deeper. 11% became 18%. Media began asking questions. The Lin board faced pressure. And Xiaoxu panicked quietly. That is when she aligned with the Lu family, Lu Jianhong, second heir of the Lu household. Arrogant, charismatic, strategic. The Lu family controlled biotech and pharmaceuticals, including supplement labs, lifestyle drugs, medical distribution networks. An alliance between Xiaoxu and Lu Jianhong began subtly. Academic collaborations, private event pairings, joint representation and sponsor functions. Publicly innocent, privately strategic. Because if the Lin family weakened financially, having Lu's support could stabilize public confidence, or at least shield Xiaoxu. Lu Jianhong was not foolish. He studied Lin Yue carefully. And he noticed the same unsettling thing Gu Chen noticed. She never appeared tired, never distracted, never emotionally rattled. Even during financial turbulence, her pulse steady, her posture centered, almost as if she already expected outcomes. That made her dangerous. So they created a test, a quiet banquet invitation. Small, controlled, selective, prestigious students, a few sponsors, political observers. Lin Yue attended. Red dress, light pink hair, calm eyes. The room monitored her. Lu Jianhong arranged the seating. A specific drink placed before her. Subtle stimulant, followed by mild cognitive destabilizer. Not lethal, not dramatic. Just enough to dull clarity. Enough to observe whether her precision faltered. Lin Yue lifted the glass, paused. The warmth in her veins stirred. Not violently. Just uneasy. Her perception sharpened subtly. She didn't smell it. She sensed imbalance. Her breathing adjusted automatically. Something within her, fragmented cultivation memory, responded. In her previous life, she never cultivated. But now, she remembered fragments, ancient breathing sequences, energy circulation, purification pathways. Not full mastery, just glimpses. Her instincts told her, do not swallow. She let the liquid touch her lips lightly, then gently returned it. Excused herself. Bathroom corridor. Cold water on lips. Focused breath. She circulated the warm current through her chest and abdomen, guided it intuitively. And when she returned, her eyes were sharper, not duller. Lu Jianhong noticed instantly. The dulling never happened. Instead, her presence grew heavier. Center gravity deepened. He felt uneasy. Gu Chen, from across the room, saw everything. He already suspected something off about the drink pattern distribution. And when he saw her return stronger, something confirmed internally. She was not ordinary. That night, as guests filtered out, Gu Chen approached her near the courtyard fountain. You shouldn't trust capital banquets easily. She glanced at him. And you shouldn't observe so openly. He smiled faintly. You sensed it. Of course. He paused. You circulate energy instinctively. She didn't respond. He added carefully. Have you ever been taught breathing discipline? Her pulse shifted slightly. He noticed. He softened his tone. Our family preserves certain traditions. She understood the implication. 4 families. Hidden fragments. She did not reveal knowledge. But she replied, I don't need tradition to breathe. He laughed softly. Interesting. Not defensive. Not curious. Confident. Gu Chen realized something else. If she learned intentionally, she would outpace many capital heirs. And that excited him. Back at the mansion, the renewable losses intensified. Chairman Lin became irritable. Madame Lin stressed. Xiaoxu positioned herself as emotional support. She organized calming dinners, suggested patience narratives, appeared devoted. Meanwhile, Lin Yue was called into Chairman Lin's study. You've distanced yourself, he said. Not asked. Accused subtly. During instability, family unity matters. Unity. Meaning obedience. She responded softly, I warned the board about regulatory tightening. He stiffened. Through unofficial channels. Meaning. She didn't credit the family. Meaning. She didn't elevate Xiaoxu. Meaning. She acted independently. His gaze hardened. Do not undermine internal cohesion. Clear message. Stay behind Xiaoxu. The warmth inside her pulsed once. But she controlled it. Rebirth taught patience. The renewable fund fell another 6%. Capital media coverage sharpened. Overexposure risk in elite holding firms. Speculation grew. Lin Xiaoxu sensed danger. So she initiated something reckless. Through Lu connections. She pushed for accelerated public reinvestment announcement. Diversify into biotech joint project with Lu Labs. Stabilize narrative. If successful, she would regain status. But what she didn't know was that Lin Yue had already projected Lu biotech volatility. There was regulatory review underway for pharmaceutical compliance. Confidential. And RX had already repositioned investments accordingly. RX secured its 5th client, then 7th, then 10th. Profits surged. Still anonymous, still shielded, still unknown.
Lin Yue diversified discreetly. Energy infrastructure derivatives. Tech material sourcing. Policy adaptive capital routing. Her cultivation glimpses enhanced modeling speed subtly. Not supernatural. Sharper anticipation. Cleaner mental clarity. Breathing exercises nightly. Energy flow strengthening gradually. She wasn't powerful physically, but cognitively. She was evolving. Lu Jianhong grew uneasy. The test failed, he told Xiao Chu. She sensed it. Xiao Chu's jaw tightened. Impossible. She's not simple, he replied. And Gu Chen's watching. Her breath caught. Gu Chen watching. That was worse, because Gu Chen wasn't just a capital heir. He was the capital heir. If he leaned toward Lin Yue, the board dynamics would shift permanently. For the first time, Lin Xiaoxu felt fear, not rivalry. She murmured, "Then we strike deeper. Watch out for part 2 for more drama."